thinking when you're driving. So I was just running some stuff through my head. Thought I'd come up with some mottos for the states, some new mottos. I'll start with my home state, Minnesota. Yeah, so we all talk like Canadians, eh? Wisconsin. What do you mean cheese? How about those Packers? Vermont. What? Ben and Jerry aren't the senator and governor? West Virginia. You cough coal dust. Florida. We'll be the first ones to move north when the ice caps start melting. New Mexico. It's still cool to be Native American. Arizona. Hey, at least it's dry heat. California. Still waiting for the big one. Let's see, what else was I thinking of? Oh yeah. Georgia. You know you ain't got no goddamn Georgia peach. Kentucky, where it's okay to only have 6 teeth. Iowa, where a 10 is a 4 with a 6-pack. Oklahoma, the land of man-made earthquakes. Colorado, fucking right, we're the first ones to legalize it. See what else they come up with. I think that was about it for now. I'll have to sit down and write out a whole list of 50 states. I could probably think of more here. Alaska. If you don't own a bush plane, you're not from here. Washington State. Sasquatch is the state mascot. Oregon. If you haven't haven't seen a Bigfoot, you're not from here. We're still in Kansas. If not, we're in Iowa. There's a Love's truck stop up there. You can see those things from a mile away with the big tall signs and the red heart. See it up there on the right. Yeah, I'll have to do all 50 states, write them all down. Those are just some that I thought up off the top of my head. Think about Oklahoma and the homemade, man-made earthquakes. They have so many holes drilled in the ground there, and the ground is so fracked that these earthquakes travel through the earth, and they come down California and sweep across the North American plate. And because the ground is so fractured there, it absorbs that pressure that comes flowing through the earth, and it releases all the energy there. So they've never had tremors or earthquakes in Oklahoma until the last probably 10 or 20 years, because the earth is so fracked up. If you don't believe me, look on Google Maps and zoom in. You'll see just what I'm talking about. Minnesota Sasquatch Trucker at gmail.com. Send me an email, tell me your story. If you ever seen a UFO or a Sasquatch or something you can't explain. There's something that's becoming more and more common, is the dogman. It's like a 7-foot tall dog creature that walks on its hind legs. It's got a long snout and pointy ears. A lot of people have seen them. I talked to somebody personally who saw one cross the road in front of them at night up north of Pine River, Minnesota. Scared him so much, I started asking him questions. He said he didn't want to talk about it. That's how scared he got from it. His voice got a little wavery, and he said I could see him, he had goosebumps all over his arms. His hair was standing on end. So when people see these creatures, man, they know what they're seeing, or they don't know what they're seeing. They see it, but they're like, what the hell is that? That thing isn't supposed to be real. Those things don't exist. That's what people have said all my life. But here it is, standing in front of me. when these things roar at people, it puts them into shock. They can't move. They can feel it on the insides. And they say it sounds like there's a high-pitched scream and a low-pitched scream together. It's like two tones come flying out of these things' mouths. And it vibrates their insides and it paralyzes people. People who are skeptical and vehemently say these things don't exist, those are the people that I want to have them see one. Because I've been practicing my I told you so dance. And I've got it down pretty good. And I can't wait to start dancing. And it's the people that are in more important jobs, but higher echelon jobs, I guess you could say. CEOs of large corporations, senators, congressmen, mayors, doctors, lawyers, you name it. Those are the people that have sightings and never talk about it. Because they're so damn worried what people think about them. Like I said before, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about me. So make fun of me all you want, I don't care. Because like I said, I've got my I told you so dance down pretty damn good. And when the day comes that the officials finally announce that these things exist and they've been studying them for years, I'm gonna try to make it into a national holiday and call it I Told You So Day. And everybody's gonna drink, smoke weed, and do the I Told You So dance in the streets. And we're gonna have bands and carnivals. And skeptic throwing parties. We're gonna see how far we can throw all those skeptics instead of a dunk tank. Suppose we could put them in a dunk tank full of donkey piss. You don't have to throw a ball or nothing, you just walk up and hit it. For free, no charge, dunk tank, donkey piss. I'll probably have to piss in there a little bit myself too. Minnesota Sasquatch Trucker on YouTube. I want to read your story on video. I'll keep your info confidential. No problem, I understand. But one of these days, people will tell their story and want their name said. Because the information that they share is very important to everybody. These things aren't a government experiment or anything. They've been around for hundreds of years. They're in all of the indigenous people's stories. They're totem poles. They've got the bear, the beaver, the eagle, the deer, and the Sasquatch, all carved into their totem poles. Those are all real animals. Why would they put a Sasquatch on a totem pole if it's mythical, along with all those other real animals that are part of their lives? They wouldn't spend the energy to carve that face. They only carve things that were real to them and was part of their lives. That's why they're on their totem poles. When I was in the Marine Corps, we went up to Nevada Sierras, up by Bridgeport, called Pickle Meadows. 30 days of cold weather training. Some former Marine wrote an email into Steve at the facts by How to Hunt on YouTube. And he read that guy's email. I was up in Bridgeport for 30 days. This guy wrote a story about being up there and seeing something in the woods. And I believe it, because it was remote when we were up there, man. Big pine trees everywhere, 6 feet of snow. You had to have snowshoes on to get around up there. You should have seen all them Southern boys when they jumped out of the back of that chopper in that meadow, 6 to 10 feet of powder. They were all buried in the snow, rolling on their backs like a bunch of drowning ducks. Minnesota boy, I come to the rescue. I've walked in snowshoes before, put them on. I've rolled around in deep snow before, know how to maneuver in it. In fact, I got an award, Meritorious Mast, for taking care of business and handling situations as well as I did up there. So anyway, yeah. This was gonna be for my Facebook page. I just couldn't help myself, you guys. I had to start talking about Sasquatch again. These fucking things are real, man. You gotta do your homework. You gotta listen to these people. They're not making this stuff up. Like I said before, they're not having a national let's make a lie about Sasquatch party and corroborating their stories to mention all the similarities. The same different things are happening to different people. The rock throwing, the roaring, the charging through the woods, the screaming, the pacing. They pace you off in the woods. They keep a distance where you can't see them. And when you stop walking, they stop walking. And that goes on and on. They'll do that. I know a dude in Longville. He said they were doing that to him. And they come up and look in his trailer windows and slap the side of his trailer home. I've never mentioned him before. He told me firsthand. I heard it from his own mouth. He even put up a 9-foot tall fence around his house, and those bastards still came up and slapped the side of his trailer. I've still got his name and number. I mean, I've been wanting to go up to his place and see what's happening. But yeah, the same thing. They'll throw giant rocks in the rivers when people are fishing or hunting or hiking. They'll come up and rub the sides of their tents. They'll throw pebbles at you in your deer stand or at your tent. Or if you're hiking, they'll throw pine cones at you. Hundreds of people have shared similar stories. So, like I said, they're not having a let's lie about Sasquatch party. None of these people know each other, and they never will know each other. But they've got one thing in common. Something extraordinary happened to them by an extraordinary creature that is so smart and so elusive people only see them if these creatures want them to be seen. If they don't want to be seen, you'll never see them, but they'll be watching you and you'll never know it. So if you're ever in the woods get an uneasy feeling like you don't belong there, you better look around, take a deep sniff, because you'll smell them before you see them. And if you ever get roared at, it's not a goddamn lion, because we don't have lions in Minnesota or Washington or Wisconsin or Arizona, or Iowa, or Kentucky, or Illinois, or Indiana, or Florida, or California, Humboldt County, where they grow buds, and they have for years. Tons of Sasquatch sightings up there. Holy crap. And out west, people just accept it as the truth. Because everybody knows somebody who has seen one. Just because you haven't seen one doesn't mean they don't exist. Most people haven't seen a bear either. So get off your high horse. Quit thinking you fucking know it all. Swallow your pride and at least entertain the idea that these things probably do exist. And then you'll be taking a step in the right direction. Keep on trucking.